It was the 50th anniversary of Earth Day on Wednesday. It was something to celebrate, and yet, for me, it felt quite strange. I can see the beauty of all the earth around us, and yet there's this deadly virus lurking in the shadows. It was unsettling, to say the least. But it led me back to one of my favorite authors, Diann H. And in her book, Grounded, Finding God in the World, A Spiritual Revolution, she explains how for centuries the Christian teaching has been to see the world as a three-tiered universe. The devil is below the earth as hell, we are on earth, and God is up there in heaven. Our goal in life is to go up rather than to go down. And Bass believes that we need to shift from a vertical theology to a horizontal theology, one where we see the earth as profoundly sacred. She calls us to stop looking up, but instead to look around us. God is not separate from us, but God is intimately with us in this beautiful and sacred creation. We are partners in this sacred landscape, and we are called to nurture, preserve, and co-create with God. We hear in the words of the Lord's Prayer, "Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven." In teaching his disciples this prayer, Jesus was explaining that our purpose is to create heaven here on earth. The kingdom of God is within you and me. It is here and now. Jesus never said God was up there. He never spoke of heaven. And instead, he taught his disciples saying, the kingdom of heaven is at hand, and the kingdom of God is within you. It is here and now. Remember what we proclaim at Christmas. Emmanuel, God is with us. In this first chapter of Genesis that we heard Joe read, we hear that God creates the world in layers, day by day. And each day, God proclaims it as good. God is in all created things. And then God gives us dominion over all things. And this means that we are in charge of all of God's creation. Since God is grounded in love and rooted in love, we do not control or destroy. Instead, we nurture and build up all created things. God is calling us to be co-creator in this beautiful and very sacred world. Too often, Christians who only see the end game as heaven or hell have no need for this planet Earth. So why care for it? If heaven is up there and that's your ultimate goal, why bother caring for it here and now? The earth and environment are not seen as sacred, but only a means to an end. This is where Diann H. horizontal theology plays out. It's a theology of co-creating with God on this planet, the one we call home. As we shift to this horizontal thinking of theology, we can see and find the sacred in everything around us, and we want to connect with God in new and amazing ways. It encourages us to care for the earth, and it shows us that when we hurt the environment, we are hurting God. When we are hurting the earth and the environment, we are out of sync with God. We at First Church Suffield have embraced the message on our Be the Church sign, and it hangs outside the building for all to see. And it says we as Christians are called to care for the environment. We need to do this as individuals, as families, as a congregation, as a community. We are called to create the kingdom of heaven here on earth, here and now, while we are here with God. And so, friends, may we work together to care for God's beautiful creation, this holy and sacred landscape. May it be so. Amen.